You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Justified After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Justified After Show.
There we go. Hey, thank you for joining us, everybody.
Yay.
Glad you could be with us. As you know, Bing is for doing, and we are doing another AFTERBUZZ TV podcast for Justified Season 3, Episode 9, entitled Loose Ends. I'm your host, John Comerford. I'm joined in the studio by the lovely and talented Tamara Berg.
Hey, everybody.
And the lanky and talented Steve Bottomley.
Hello, everybody.
And helping us out in the booth is engineer provocateur Jerica. Say hi, Jerica. There, okay, way off in the booth.
Yes,
There,
the booth is on the other side of the studio this
all right.
week.
Loose ends, a lot of loose ends, and creating some more actually as we speak. But one of the things that I wanted to start off with is how Raylan is defying Art's orders once again, putting himself in. Well, eventually he's going to be putting himself a big doo-doo with Art. Art tells him, "What's this business about Quarles? That's it. I want you done. You've got nothing on him. Move on." And that's the last thing that Raylan can do.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
He's a lawman, but
Yeah, but I love what he says.
he's an
He goes,
outlaw man.
"A man tried to ruin my
family."
Yeah, exactly. And so.
Or my life. No, you said,
I
you're
think
right.
it's
He said my life.
right,
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, and then he's he's not going to drop it. So.
You know, he made a couple of odd moves in this episode. First
Raylan
of all, Raylan
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
First
Yes.
of all, if you're going to hide a weapon that can
Yeah, no, that's the
incriminate you,
yeah.
he just puts it behind the dresser. Okay,
Yeah.
done.
The
And
radiator,
then just,
yeah.
just
Under
lies
the
on the
radiator
bed
cover, yeah.
behind the radiator. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, I'm done. And then he kisses Ava, which I thought was a really good bookend to the beginning of
Yeah.
his,
Okay, I just thought it was
season
really hot.
Well, there you go. Real quick, I want to say
Wasn't that
hello.
hot of a kiss?
I'm going to interrupt myself and say hello to everybody on
that's
the
right.
chat room.
Thank you.
We're live. I got you right here. If you've got anything you want to add, I will read it out.
Or talk about.
Bring up a point, whatever. But back on point.
Yeah, Raylan.
Yeah. He's just kind of
Yeah,
and
this is
he
where
lied
Raylan
to
kinda-
Art, and that
yeah.
always comes back to bite.
I know
him in the ass.
we like it when it goes a little bit off the rails because I mean that's
It's
the fun part of it,
entertaining, yeah.
And usually he's got his code that he lives by, like all characters like this have this code, and he's living within the law. I guess maybe not exactly skirting it here and there, but every time he does one of these things, which is just great fun, great TV and everything like that, but he always gets in trouble for it, which is also fun. So here he is making up the reason. I mean, he said Quarles is he said drop Quarles, so he goes out and figures. Oh, that's right, because Ava's the one that gets Boyd involved, and that's where the kiss comes from. Because I mean, now that Winona's not around, and he's drinking too much, and
Yep.
clearly he was drinking too much right then.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got the better, and even confessed that last week to Art that he's drinking too much.
She also says, I just seem to be always coming to ask you for a favor. And
Yeah,
I thought it was just really interesting how he had a lot of interest in her knowing about Boyd and who Boyd is, and kind of like
Oh, right.
right.
Literally, he said,
Yeah.
"You know what Boyd is, right?"
Right.
As if he's trying to save her. As if
Yeah, well, he's
trying
always
to,
he has his hero complex, and he's always got a soft spot for Ava because of, she had a crush on him, and then
Yeah.
they had the relationship for
Mhm.
for a time. So yeah, I think he wants to, because look, he couldn't help Winona.
No.
He made it worse. So that big
He's just
huge
transferred.
hero, yeah, exactly, that hero
Transferred
complex
over
is
to
transferred
the-
over. But I thought was more
Yeah.
interesting is she starts talking to him about, well, I hear you shot a girl.
Yes.
A woman, and he says, well, there aren't too many women who are
Toting
in
guns.
crime, and
Mhm.
I thought, well, that to me was more interesting because I think they're setting up something. Well, I mean, because I think that at some point because now that Ava's getting deeper and deeper into this, she is going to be. I mean, let's face it. We saw her shoot somebody today.
Yep.
We knew she killed her abusive husband, and that all that kind of thing. But now she actually shot somebody. So it wasn't, and that was not as self-defense.
No.
It was clearly just to help-
retribution and
to
helping
help
out
Ellen. Exactly,
May.
Ellen May. So now she's becoming that person that Raylan
Raylan's
just
warning
said.
her
He's
against.
warning, and he's
Or
saying,
about.
I don't come across too many women that are in crime where I have to shoot them. And I think, well, whoa, wait a minute. Does that mean they're setting up that
Are you making a prediction right now?
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what that was.
You think that at the finale of this season
no,
it's
no,
going
no,
to
not,
be
not the finale of this
No?
season. No, I don't think.
But you think
the
they're
finale's-
setting up that Ava and
Well,
Raylan
because
are going to be at opposite ends of two guns?
She's going to get deeper and deeper involved. Obviously, that's where they're this whole season's about crossing lines. And here's this big line she crosses where she's actually actively shooting somebody, killing somebody, and not out of self-defense. And we're jumping into the Ava story, but she wants to become now the madam.
Right.
So I think they're setting up that she's going to be, and she's obviously more of a partner with Boyd.
Real quick, let's also bring up the fact that this really was an estrogen.
Oh, that's right.
fueled,
Yeah.
Girl
episode.
power.
A lot of girl power. It was written by a woman.
Written by yeah.
Directed by a woman.
And I bet
And we
And
had
featured
women.
Ava,
We
yeah.
had women bank robbers. We had
Yeah.
Ava toting a gun.
And not that was a big
Well, I was
role,
just
but
going to say that, especially on a show like Justified,
Yeah.
there are probably very, very few
Testosterone-driven.
women writers to begin with, and then very few women directors. And there are very few women directors in TV anyway, and certainly they're not on this kind of show. So it was really interesting to see a woman's take, I think.
Oh yeah, you being the only woman on this podcast.
Oddly enough, for all the women involved, Tim Elephant kept his shirt on.
I
Yeah,
know.
but he did have
Quite a
that
bit.
kiss.
But he
that
did have the
apparently-
hot
He did
kiss.
have the hot kiss.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
all right. So anyway, I just think that to me was a more interesting part of that conversation rather than him talking about Boyd, because they talked about the thing about he shot a woman because there's not too many women who are in crime, and I went, well, what? That's interesting, because if I was the writing crew, I mean that's one of the kinds of things that they kind of throw in there, and then later on you realize, oh my God, that's what they were setting up all along.
And they do lay a lot of stuff in,
Yeah,
and sometimes they don't even realize when they
Right,
lay
like
it
we
in,
talked
the,
about last week about
like
the bullet.
bullet and all that.
Yeah,
sort of
exactly,
stuff.
the bullet. Yeah.
So it just seems like nothing's wasted
No.
whenever they're doing.
Well,
this stuff.
and even in that one, he starts telling Ava about the story about Tiny.
Mm-hmm.
To make a point with her, is like, especially about the Boyd point, is that look, you got to get away from him because, and then he tells him the story about how Tiny and his girlfriend or whatever, she lets the ATF or the marshals in, they get Tiny,
Right.
which was a scene we saw
In season one.
In season one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I mean, they don't waste anything. It's like, let's just and if you don't need to know that came from season one.
No.
But I just love that it was, because as we're watching, go, hey, wait a minute, that's Tiny from season one they're talking about. That's terrific. So all right, let's move on with Quarles. So we'll talk more about the Ava thing when we get back to her storyline. But we're going back to Ray, and how he's now told Art a lie, basically, that because he got the info about Quarles and Tanner and everything from Boyd, who's in prison, jail, whatever.
Saying he got it from Tom.
Saying he got it from Trooper Tom.
Trooper Tom,
Yeah,
right.
he tells Art that you got it from Trooper Tom, but it's a very reliable source, because he's not going to say Boyd, because the whole last week's all about being trapped with Boyd,
Right.
and being in cahoots with him. So
Well, it originally started with a confidential informant, right? You got a call. That's what Art calls him into the office. at
Oh, about the
beginning.
Buddy, what's his name?
Yeah, who is Buddy so-and-so?
Brady Hughes.
Brady Hughes.
Brady Hughes, the missing hustler.
yeah,
Right.
and we don't know what that is. We may find out later what that's all about. Well, obviously it's a callback to Quarles wanting to beat up somebody and all this.
Yeah,
Beat up a
right, and that's
hooker or whatever it is.
And Art wants nothing to do with him.
Right.
And
Well, as long because it has in Art's mind, it has anything to do with a federal crime or a marshal purview, so knock it off. I've had enough, because last week he was about to have a heart attack because of Raylan and putting him through so much. So he wants Raylan back on the straight and narrow.
did you notice also last week Raylan was stuck in the office?
Yeah.
Pretty much for the whole thing, except
Yeah.
a brief stint
Outside.
Talking
to
yeah,
Winona
yeah,
and-
exactly.
This time, I think he was in the office for
Just
maybe
the
one
first scene.
scene.
Just
Yeah.
that's the first scene.
And then they said, "Let's get him the
and
hell
that's it.
out."
Let's get him out of the office. And now he's back in Harlem too,
He's
chasing everybody down. So he finds out where Tanner is, and then I think the scene with his mother was just beautiful. So, because Trooper John tells him, well, here's where his mother lives, and that's where he's staying or whatever.
Right.
Wasn't she fabulous? We don't have the name of the actress.
We
We're
don't.
looking
We
it up.
tried to look that up, but couldn't find it.
I thought she was great. She just was so
Yeah.
wonderfully
Odd.
oblivious and
Odd.
odd, but cute
What
and
an
motherly
energy.
and
What a just a great energy.
yeah.
But
and
then, talking about the last time some
Exactly.
no-dick Marshall came in.
clearly a seasoned veteran of
Right.
the criminal aspects of her son's life.
And,
yeah.
one of those great moments that they do a lot in this show where they have
Yeah.
the dissonance between the sweet, loving,
Right.
kind of grandmotherly
Exactly.
mom talking
we
about
start
the
about
no-dick
this way, and then
Marshalls.
boop, we do a nice
Yeah.
little turn on that. I thought that was just great, and
And
she
you-
but she kept her sweetness when
Oh,
she said, even
absolutely.
when she said get out.
You totally
get
bought
out.
into why she was,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Why didn't you try? He gave him poison, and you have
Yeah.
the antidote. What?
That was I just love it.
Priceless.
And then when you have that
In case
kind
you
of
change your
character,
mind.
yeah, when you have that kind of character and that kind of voice,
Yeah.
he's just, oh my God, what can we get her to say? What can we get her
It
to say?
reminded me of Anita Gillette, a woman. I don't even know if she's still acting or even if she's still alive, to be honest with you. But she was a terrific actress back in the day. But that's what it reminded me of. Anyway, so hopefully we'll find out her name. But I thought she did a fabulous job, and especially when we came back to her as well. But
Mm-hmm.
it was just a great scene. So anyway, so it sends him still. So Raylan's still not getting satisfied. So what's the next thing he does? He visits Sheriff Napier. And even worse, he brings in an ATF guy.
Oh, the ATF
Yeah.
guy.
So he's just doing
Yeah.
shenanigans all episode.
He's just grasping for straws. He's just pulling stuff
Yeah.
out, but his hunches are right,
Right,
Yeah.
and it's working.
and it's working.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what they did. They just
Yeah.
put him out in the field and have him just rattle cages.
Wasn't a Napier great with Sheriff Napier when he's starting out brushing his
Doing his Just
combing
for
his
Men.
brush exactly or whatever he was
Whatever
doing.
that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then practicing his little speech. God, I don't even I forgot his name too, but great, another great actor.
They
He's doing
use
some
these
stuff.
guys a lot in a lot of the stuff they do. I think
Yeah, from
Napier was in From Here to the
From
Moon.
Earth to the Moon.
From Earth to
Earth
the
Oh, from
Moon.
the Earth to the
Yeah,
Moon.
so was Nick
Oh
Searcy.
my God, I love that.
Nick
show.
Right,
Searcy,
right.
yeah.
Nick Searcy art. And
Yeah.
a lot of these guys.
And even the
they have
ATF guy, the
yeah.
bomb.
the real one.
Yeah, the guy that
Oh,
was
the
gonna
actual-
defuse
right.
the bomb.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on Earth to the Moon too.
Right. So,
So that's how
they
they
find
remember.
these guys that they love, and they figure
Amazing.
out ways. Let's bring them back,
Yeah.
or let's get them in here. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's very
and
smart.
it really shows. You
Yeah.
know, when you see these guys work, there's just this
Well, and
vibe.
Michael
that-
T. and Neil McDonough, Michael T. Williams, they're from Boomtown, so they work together too. So they're from that. Okay. So that, yeah, so we get to where are we now? Oh, we're at Sheriff Napier's. He brings in the ATF guy, and I don't know about you guys, but when he brought the ATF guy in, I went,
Really?
What? Yeah, because usually they do a much better job of casting.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they really I go, what is that? But I noticed, he never came to the forefront, and if you notice the way it's shot, Timothy's kind of blocking
Yep.
the view of him and everything,
Yep.
so you don't get to see him very
And
well.
and usually those ATF guys are badass looking.
Yeah,
you
they
know.
are badass, yeah.
This guy.
Usually, there's ATF somewhere on
Well,
their body.
You know,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
true.
what was one of the things I just wanted to talk about was when they left, and
Yeah.
we learned that ATF is a truck driver, drives a big rig.
Yeah, and he's wearing.
And he
Raylan's
asks,
vest.
Raylan goes, "Give me my vest back."
Yeah.
He gives him the vest back, but then in the scene at Lemuel's place
Yeah.
with the
real
with the-
ATF.
his vest says U.S. Marshal on the front of it. So,
Well, he just turns it around.
is he wearing it inside out or something?
Yeah, you can do that. More inside.
Can
but,
you?
Yeah,
Is that how you do
yeah,
it,
yeah,
John?
you can. Well, I've had worn a vest. I know what that is. I've had a bulletproof vest on. I know you can turn them inside out.
Okay.
So,
The,
but I thought it was good. Well, coming out of the sheriff's, when you actually saw the size of
The girth.
Thank you. The girth of the guy that Raylan hires to play the FTI, you went, whoa, okay, it's a good
Hang
thing you were
on a
hiding
minute.
here. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was nice. So,
well, the moral is if you throw a bulletproof vest on somebody,
yeah.
you can say they're ATF,
Yeah.
Pretty much
police,
anything.
SWAT, pretty much
Right.
anything,
And we'll buy it.
and we'll buy it.
What I thought was interesting is that he seemed like a friend of Raylan's. He goes, hey, you want to go get a beer? And even Raylan, who's been drinking too much, is, it's a little early for me. He's already been
Well,
drinking.
Yeah, but Raylan
He was
had
already
things
drinking
to
earlier in
do.
the day.
It's like 7 a.m.
Yeah. But
as
he-
opposed to 9 when
yeah,
you
so-
usually have your first drink.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little nod to that. Oh, goodness
Raylan had
gracious.
things to do though.
He did.
He had a very busy day planned.
Right?
Yeah, and then he follows Napier because he knows that Napier is going to lead him to Tanner, or at least that's the hope.
Right.
And while he's, so they go to some, Napier, of course, had set up some meeting with Tanner in some secluded place. and starts pulling out a shovel from his trunk of his
I
car.
love that shot.
Might be
where
a
it's
body
an
bag
overhead
in there.
shot. And
Yeah.
You can see the bleach. You can see the duct tape.
Yeah, you see her,
You
he's
see the
like-
rope, the
yeah,
shovel, the
exactly.
plastic.
Basic,
Wow.
basic murderer's
Yeah.
life kit.
Exactly.
Nice.
In the back
You know?
of his,
In the back of
his
his
sheriff's car.
sheriff's car. It's like,
Well,
oh
you know.
wow, man, is this guy dirty or not? I mean,
And they played that scene so nice.
Oh, when he
When
felt-
Raylan
yeah.
drives up.
Ran- Raylan
where
finally
Sheriff
gets
is
the
standing there
call.
with the shovel.
yeah, Trooper Tom calls him. Hey, we finally found Tanner, so he gets to leave and he drives up to Napier.
Pretty sure he's not coming.
Pretty sure he's not
And the
coming.
look on Napier's face is that's just priceless because not only has my plan been thwarted, but somebody knows.
Yeah, all along.
Yeah,
And you know what? It really is kind of like I don't have time.
exactly. Yeah, you're
Don't have time
so
for you.
far down my totem pole that I don't even have time to deal with a horribly dirty sheriff.
No,
Yeah,
not really.
Yeah.
that's really tacky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
the,
so.
the writing is
All right,
just awesome.
so which
in this
takes
show.
us to, of course, we're now at the what's his name? Brooks, I think it was Brooks. Is the old
Lemuel
guy.
Brooks.
Lemuel Brooks,
Mhm.
who we saw in earlier episodes, and Lemuel
yeah.
Brooks did pyrotechnics for Boyd. Boyd got a rocket launcher for him.
That's where we
That's
got
how we-
him
that's how we
from.
know this
Oh,
guy.
Of course, of course, of
Right.
course.
So this
Okay.
guy, builds these gadgets. I don't know if you remember, he built a little helicopter thing or whatever. But
Right.
anyway, that's
Yeah,
where
yeah,
Boyd
yeah.
got a
Yes,
lot
yes,
of his
yes.
blasting stuff. And
Right.
so again, a classic case where they let's use a guy he's already in house. We've already used him. Boom, they bring him back. So and what a nice way. By the way, huge body count on this one. We've been curious about the body counts, and then this episode has a huge body count.
Right.
Yeah, pretty big.
2 that we
Wait,
know of in the first
Ava,
scene.
Tanner.
Well, we got
the
the two girls
two
in the beginning.
Girls in the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's 4.
Yeah.
They reference a couple of guys in the bank, but we don't see.
Yeah,
those.
we don't know
Oh
if they got
right.
killed. Right?
Yeah, we can count
So-
at least one of them. One who got
Probably.
his skull blown off.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think was how she put it. So that's 5.
He's probably a gunner.
You got Delroy.
Yeah. Delroy,
The 2 girls.
Tanner, the 2 girls, and
The
the,
other guy.
guy in the lone cat
And
the
Lemuel.
cashing place. Oh, and Lemuel.
Yeah, we got
Right. So
6.
that's
There's
6.
our body
That's
count, 6.
big.
It is. But okay, let's go to Lemuel. So
They were
Lemuel,
busy.
savvy, very savvy guy. Rigs up his, his little stool.
It's up there.
Yeah. How
It's
many
up
times
there.
has he wanted to be able to use it? I hope never, but he's got it all rigged. But man, savvy, and loved how he referenced the whole thing about back in Nam, and because I don't know if you recall, Arlo's
Mhm.
was a Nam veteran, the whole thing, so we get that reference coming back. So he's got that stool rigged, and the look on Tanner's face was great. I just love the little standoff they had. Tanner and Errol
Errol
have
and-
guns.
right.
And the Lemuel was fabulous. He goes, well, now hang on. Yeah, right. He's just so nonplussed about the whole guns. So obviously he's had a gun pointed in his face, not only from Nam, but it seems like recently.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be bothered by it at
Pretty
all.
much a weekly occurrence, it seems.
That's what it seemed like, didn't it?
Well, that's one of the things that I think is sort of funny about the show, and pretty much every character very calm about everything.
Yeah, it's like, all right. okay,
Oh
here's a-
geez, it's another defuse a bomb day. Ah crap, I gotta go save Dickie's life again.
Yeah.
They did let Tanner have that figuring out how did this go so wrong so quickly.
Right.
While he's on that thing where
Yeah.
he's looking at him and he's looking at Errol and,
Yeah.
and that moment of the 3 of them and the only guy that could fix him didn't care.
Yeah.
He's just like, what's it gonna be, son?
Yeah, it's your choice.
But it was you knew Tanner wasn't gonna walk out of there.
No.
But it was really cool to let him
Sweat like that, yeah.
have those moments.
And it was
have- and work
interesting
that.
how I was shocked that Errol took the shot.
I was too.
Yeah.
Because
I thought what was going to happen is he was going to collect the guns and walk out.
Right.
And say, good luck.
But let's face it. He had the little meeting with Limehouse, and Limehouse said, "No, today is tying up loose ends, and you got to make sure that these ends get tied." So, once Tanner gets on that stool, what else is Errol going to do? But it came quickly, and I just that was shocking to me.
Now,
Not that he did it, because they were there to kill him anyway. But it was just
they
it
were there
happened so
to
quickly.
kill
Brooks?
Yeah,
Brooks.
because they had to tie up loose ends. That was
And-
the whole
and
thing.
Brooks-
Anybody that could tie Tanner back to the Nobles Holler was tying up loose ends.
So
was there to get his
and
money
Brooks
back
could
and-
do that.
Right.
Yeah, because Brooks was the one that got the blasting stuff for the rig, or got the explosives for the car,
For Napier's
for
car.
Napier's car.
Okay.
That's what Brooks provided.
Okay.
So they were trying to tie up all those loose ends. So all that stuff wouldn't come, and there'd be no blowback on Noble's Holler.
I swear we need a whiteboard at this point to keep track of how
I'm right there. I'm your whiteboard.
Yeah.
I got it all figured out for you. So.
You are, but we can't read it on your face.
And you
that's
really
true.
are the whitest whiteboard I've ever seen.
That's probably
Just,
true.
you know, so you know.
So anyway, so that's why they're there. So anyways, yeah, it was shocking that he shot him so quickly. But then it's like, yeah, of course he did. That's why they were there. But then that left those two guys. And then again, in some weird way in this world, he makes a deal with
the code of honor
code
that
of
they
honor.
have
Look,
in Harlan.
You know, look, if don't worry though, but we'll take care of your mama, anything she needs, and you have Mr. Limehouse's word on that, and that's good enough for Tanner.
And then
he makes that deal.
And then at the end, when we do see Errol go visit Mrs. Dodd, he's so sweet.
Yeah.
You know, anything you need,
Yeah.
Mrs. Dodd, you call me.
But you know, the reason why that was even more interesting to me is because the whole thing with Mags's money and Dickie, they didn't give all his money back. So I thought that money would have gone right back to Limehouse.
To Limehouse,
But
right?
no, I think it was. You think it was because it was just the mother involved, and
mama.
she's a sweet old mama, and all that kind of stuff, and so that's why Errol brought the money
Yes,
back.
I do.
I think Errol made the deal with Tanner, and you know.
Yeah, but Tanner's
schmeal.
dead.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know they're reinforcing that man's word is his bond.
Yeah, I know.
down in the
That's why I
holler.
thought it was so shocking because they had a deal with Mags's family. They didn't give money to Dickie, but they have this deal with Tanner, and they do give the money. So I thought that's an interesting little. And I think it's because it wasn't Mags. It is an innocent woman, and even you know she's just the mother of Tanner, so she's not really in the business, so to speak.
Right.
So that would be the right thing to do is to make sure she's provided for. Whereas Mags, their whole family's in the business, so they get whatever they deserve.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking is what they were playing.
So question.
Yeah.
When Errol's leaving,
Yeah.
and Tanner's still on the bouncing Betty,
Yeah.
he says, "Errol,
Yeah.
what do you think he wanted to say? What do you think he
I don't
was
know, it's
trying
I thought
to-
it was a thank you. Thank you for taking care of my mama.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was.
But he couldn't.
I think that's what it didn't have to because it was understood. And I think that goes to what I was just talking about. It was because he did that I think that helped Errol having no problem taking that to his money. I mean, he was trying to say, look, fine, I get what's going on here. I'm dead, and I get why you're doing this, but do right by my mama. I don't know. That's the only
What
thing.
did you think
That's
it
what I
was,
thought
Steve?
it was.
You sure you don't want to trade places?
Okay. One vote for
that's
that.
a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
I'd love to hear what anybody else thought of it.
And,
Can you give me a
just
sandwich?
When we revisit Tanner,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if we're going there now, but they had it. His hand was shaking.
Well, let's go to the next scene. That's the whole thing there, because
That's-
that's
yeah,
the
that's
next, pretty much the next beat of it.
It pretty much is.
Yeah, so because the next time we're there, ATF's there, Raylan's there. They're all ready to defuse the bomb. Tanner's, of course, he's been on there for I don't know, an hour now, hours, whatever it is. He's all nervous and freaking out.
He's got to pee. His hands are shaking.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, his legs
And
are
here's
about
what I'm thinking
shot.
is, okay, you don't want to drop the gun. Why aren't you putting it in your waistband? Why do you feel like you have to hold it?
I know. I was thinking the same thing. And the
Put
other
it in your
thing was
pocket?
is
There was a couple of waistband issues in this one.
Yeah,
there
that's
were
true.
waistband issues. But if he was worried about the weight, his personal weight, why did he give Errol the money, the bag of money?
Yeah,
Because
'cause
that
he'd
would have
already-
changed his
yeah,
weight
I know.
as well.
That it just really didn't.
Slight logic problems.
Yeah.
But he could have put it in his waistband. He could have
Yeah,
done whatever.
that was.
You could have just
so
set it down.
I don't know.
But
They
I guess
should have-
between his feet.
He shouldn't have.
Yeah.
He should have never grabbed the money and then stepped on the thing, and then before he reached for it, then it wouldn't have been in his hand. There would have been no issue. But that thing bothered me because exactly. If you let go of the gun, why is that going to cause it to arm? But if you let go of the money, that doesn't cause it to arm. So that was kind
Right.
of strange.
But the fact that he dropped the gun
Yeah.
made me think it hit a switch or something, as opposed to changing his weight. I mean, that's how I
Yeah.
resolved it in my mind.
Yeah, but I didn't see that or hear that or anything. So I just went. I hate that.
Well, back when I was in the Delta.
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yes.
But here's
we
the
were
thing.
dropping-
It was an easy fix. I wish they had just fixed it
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that just I hate it.
Well, I think they
everything else is really sharp and crisp on this, and
I think they may have tried to a little bit with the someone talking to, I think it was one of the trooper talking to the ATF bomb diffuser guy,
Right, yeah.
saying, and the trooper said he doesn't want to put down his gun because it will
Yeah.
change his weight, and the ATF guy said, oh, that would be like Lemuel. to do. So I think they kind of tried to fix it,
Yeah.
but then there was the other weight
Also-
issue with the
Yeah, with the
fanny
money.
pack full of money or whatever it was.
Yeah, but also when they were running out and getting behind the thing and
Yeah.
getting behind the cars and realized what's going on, he goes, they sometimes they just arm themselves. I mean, they
It
did
armed
lay in-
themselves.
Yeah.
It armed itself, and then they didn't know what was going to happen.
right.
Yeah.
But the
Right.
ATF guy was great. I like it just because they, when they say don't when Raylan first gets there and he's holding the gun on him, he says don't drop that, all whatever, and starts talking to him. The ATF guy finally goes, and he just goes right in. It's like, oh well,
Can you
this is my
defuse it?
job.
Of course I can.
Yes, this is what I do. And then they're making jokes.
Yeah.
Hey, me and the ATF guy will go out for lunch. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
But what else are you gonna do if you're in that line of work? I mean, you're sweating bullets anyway. You might as well, if you're gonna go into that line of work, you might as well enjoy it.
Right.
And he's standing on a bouncing Betty.
Yeah.
He's about ready to,
Bounce.
Bounce.
Yeah.
And he still wants to negotiate.
Yeah.
But
that's what I thought was great.
And what
Yeah.
he wants to give up on. So it says a couple of things. One, it says the life that these guys lead, but it
Yeah.
also kind of says, this has got to be a good deal because if I live, I'm going to have even more people wanting to kill me if I
Right.
tell you
That's
what
right.
you need to know.
Yeah. But I thought it was great that he called Raylan out on it. You're trying to
Negotiate?
negotiate with me when I'm sitting on top of a bomb. No better time.
Right.
No better time.
Stating the obvious. Of course I'm gonna. No. We'll
But
do it now before you get down.
Tanner was actually the one doing most of the negotiating.
Yeah.
Raylan just wanted the
He just wants
information.
because he wants Quarles.
And he was really pretty desperate for it, and
Yeah.
it
Because
really wrecked his plan.
which was great because every time he tried to get info, it got farther away, and and he knows he only has a certain amount of time before Art's gonna find out and really come down on him for disobeying that order.
And how long do you think that's going to take?
Well, it'll be next episode
Next
probably.
episode?
I think so,
I'm
something like that.
guessing.
Because they're gonna have a head with Quarles, so at some point it's gonna come to a head.
There's a little bit of a spoiler alert. The bomb does go off. The bouncing Betty does bounce.
He
and the
drops
look
the
that
gun.
Raylan
It's
has.
like, doesn't why? It's like that was the other thing that bothered me is why doesn't anybody just tell him put it in your? He had a coat.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Put
not
it in
even a
your coat
waistband. He
pocket.
could have
Yeah.
just put it in his
It's
pocket.
like what why is the
But the look that Raylan had,
Yeah.
looking at that blown out shop,
Yeah.
just damn.
There was my
so close to getting
yeah,
so close
there
to getting
was my
Quarles.
thing.
And it was
Not
great
a lot of
though.
remorse for
No.
Tanner.
No.
Tanner
whatever.
Tanner goes bye bye, boom boom bye bye, which is and then a good fitting bye bye to Tanner.
Yeah.
He was not a nice guy, but now, Raylan's got nothing.
No, he doesn't.
So he ends up at
The only thing he has
Tanner's
is
house.
a gun that can
Incriminate
Right.
him.
incriminate him
but he
at his house.
But he goes back to Tanner's house, and what does he do? He fixes
Fixes
the
the
TV,
TV.
Yeah.
and wait. And I thought that first of all the way it was shot was great. Errol shows up, gives the money to Tanner's mom, and she's just just breaks my heart just thinking about that scene and how she played it. It was just beautiful, sad, just really sad. She gets the money, and then we just kind of pull back, and then you see
And there
Raylan
he
just
is.
sitting on the couch. He's not even. I mean, he's just sitting there. He's not. He's no gun out, nothing. He's just sitting there. So
And he thanks her
he thanks her,
for not letting him know that.
right? Yeah,
he was
and,
there.
and says, "I'm sorry for you lost the whole thing." Gives her the remote, so we know he did
He
put
did
the TV
it.
together. Because and he doesn't take the money.
Right.
He lets her have it.
He lets
too.
her have the money.
Yeah.
Because even though that's really it's Brooks's money.
Right.
But I guess in his world,
He doesn't need it.
no, he doesn't need it, or the family doesn't need it, whatever Brooks' family. But he figures that guy, he makes bombs for a living, so let's give it to the sweet old lady who
Who
probably
just lost her son.
and probably hasn't hurt anybody in her life or whatever.
Because, like you said, she's not in the business.
she's not in the business, so
Mhm.
it's right that she deserves it rather than have it, taken into custody and do all that kind of stuff. and
Right.
Have it
Right.
go through all the system.
Figuring out his own way around
But
the
isn't it
law.
sweet? Isn't it sweet that Raylan got the TV working?
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
But
Of
I
course,
just thought it was
he did it
hysterical.
with the shirt on.
That's true.
Sorry.
I know,
Sorry.
that's not how I prefer
But it was
it.
great that they set up that that she's got this brand new TV, and that's how he knows that Tanner came by,
Yeah.
but he didn't have time to fix it because he's in trouble.
Yeah.
That whole thing, and then at the end, it's so wonderfully resolved very quickly. But just her looking at the TV and crying. I mean, it's like that's just great stuff.
They are so good at callbacks.
Yeah.
In this show,
It's
They're so
wonderfully
good at
resolved
callbacks.
without being sappy or anything. Just
And then the other
incredibly
great
well
thing
resolved.
about that
great setup, great
was
resolution.
because he was there and saw
Yeah.
Errol deliver the money. Now he knows where to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now he
And
goes,
this is where we get to me. This is the best scene between I'm sorry, between Raylan and Limehouse when we're back at the Noble's Holler at the shack, so to speak. I don't even know what we call it.
Let's call it the Rib Shack.
The Rib Shack, yeah. And Raylan.
And can we go there when we're done?
Yeah, no, don't you want to? Man, it
Absolutely.
looks like
Oh
it'd be
my
good
God.
stuff there. So yeah, Raylan says he's gonna close him down, and that was just a great scene with Michael T. and Timothy, because we finally are told that Limehouse remembers
Oh God.
Raylan's dad the whole time, and that his whole business of not of pretending not to know and stuff that Raylan was surprised by. Raylan thought for sure he's gonna remember the time my dad came here and he beat him up and all, and that was that was episode 2, I think,
Right.
maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And finally, in episode 9, 7 weeks later, he finally realizes, not only did he remember it, he remembers all
of it.
Something
And-
about,
and
you wanna
recounts
know
it in
what I
great
remember about
detail.
your mama?
Oh, that was the best, and because he's saying this thing, trying to get a rise out of
Yeah.
Timothy, and how he beat up his dad, remembers the blood, the way he cried. And I remember your eyes getting big as saucers, and
You wet your pants.
exactly. No, his daddy did, I think. I
Oh,
don't
his
think the
dad
kid
did?
or you're about to, or something like that. But
You're
yeah,
about to, yeah.
exactly. And then Raylan, of course, it's that image, that memory doesn't bother him because it's Arlo. He
Yeah, it's
doesn't care.
Arlo.
But as soon
Whatever.
as he said, "Well, maybe I should remind you about your mama," and then it was,
Uh-oh. Don't go there.
that was it.
Not my mama.
Nobody. You can't,
Nobody. You never go
you can't
after
mess
mama.
with somebody's mama.
Mm-mm.
The thing I liked about that scene was, at the very end, first of all, you get to find out what Limehouse's first name is.
Elston.
Elston.
Yeah.
Did you already know
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Oh.
But they don't use it a lot, so
No.
it's not.
Welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
We're glad you're here.
It's on the whiteboard.
Yeah. Solar flare.
Oh, that whiteboard.
Yeah.
And where they come up with these names,
Elston
God
Limehouse.
knows.
I know.
But
Well, I bet I think a lot of them are from the Elmore Leonard books.
Yeah, I
actually.
think so. Well, Delroy is. Delroy's
Yeah.
from a.
Definitely
yeah,
is.
so
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of these are.
But when Elston
Yeah.
says we've been here a long time and a lot of kings have tried to take
Yeah.
us, and it's like, yeah, and you're gonna be here when this one blows over
Right.
too,
That's true, he will,
as
yeah.
far as you know.
And for some reason, I didn't. This is the part of the scene I didn't get. So Raylan says, "So you're just trying to protect." So it's almost like he went, "Oh, okay. So you're not really into this. You're just trying to protect Noble's Hall, or is that what's going?" I didn't quite get what was going on there. Do you think
No,
that's what was going on?
Steve,
At
take
the,
it.
at the end,
Yeah, when he says, "So you're just trying to protect Noble's Hall," it was
I
kind of like
think-
he was resigned. To, okay, that for me, it sounded like, okay, I understand why you said that, and okay, if you're not really into this and you're not going to help me because you're just trying to protect the Noble's Hauler, it's almost like he was trying to, okay, I'll find a different way.
yeah, I got the feeling that he's first of all he's trying to figure out who the players are and,
Right.
and how they're all interconnected.
Yeah,
But I think he was trying to figure out if Limehouse does have a more honorable
right.
position in all of this,
Uh-huh.
and possibly even trying to give him a way out.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
out
I
of
think
all
he's
of it.
definitely trying to give him a way out for sure. Yeah,
But no, it was an interesting conversation, and,
Yeah.
and it really was kind of one where you're going, you guys are really equal in this.
right.
In this
And
conversation,
and
in
he,
this
and he
scene,
starts
you
out by
guys
saying,
are
"Look,
equal
I'm
right
taking
here."
Quarles. I'm either going to put him in the ground or put him in jail.
Mhm.
So you can either help
And,
Or not.
and Limehouse isn't sure he's going to do either one of them at this point.
I know, because
Right.
Elston's really good about
He's-
he said all along, he goes, "Let them deal with it.
We're
going to help
invisible.
that along and clean it all up, but we're still going to make
Yep.
sure we're insulated from
Right.
that."
Our power is being invisible, and it's
Yeah,
what we
exactly.
do good.
So
That's
I
right.
think, and I think that, he's done a really good job of playing that. So and of course we didn't get very far because
Well, he was
Limehouse.
closing up.
Yeah, but Limehouse he hasn't said, he did not say yes.
He doesn't say
He
anything.
doesn't say yes.
He just
He offers people ribs
he
and pie.
does. He was just trying
Okay.
to close up his shop.
Speaking of that, should we go to that? Since he offers
Yeah,
some pie, let's talk.
The shoe fly pie
Let's
scene.
yeah, the scene earlier in the show when Quarles finally shows up at the shack.
Yes.
Just the way he walks in. Just,
Yeah, and the way just the suit and the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's just
He's
like,
a
so not.
piece of work.
His
does not
arms are
belong
always
there.
his arms are always out a little bit
Yeah.
from his body.
Well, it's
you
because he's got to
it's-
make room for that sleeve gun.
Exactly.
Partly.
Yeah, but
And
there's
God only
also-
knows what's in this hand.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't seen that yet. That'd be awesome.
Bam!
Yeah,
He's
who knows about
just
that?
is
and just looks so out of place.
it's so
Mhm.
tightly wound. I
Mhm.
like it's just,
Got the suit, the blonde hair, the blue eyes. I mean, it's just everything is just wonderful. And then they have that nice little thing between them. How about some shoe fly pie? Ooh, shoe fly. And it's like,
And it's just, didn't that just say,
it was
what are you
nasty. It was
doing?
Yeah.
Well, it was almost like, and here's the thing, I don't know if it was just because it seemed like actors, first of all, having fun with each other.
Yes.
But I mean, characters. So I mean, they did a great job because I don't want to think for a second, sound like I'm saying that you could see them acting. Yeah, it was just. But these two guys know each other too, so it was almost like they're
sure.
as
Because like you said, they were
characters,
from
playing.
Boomtown, right?
Yeah, they're playing. You know, it's like, and it was great. You know, because it was just. I mean, I don't know how much of that was written or how much was improv or whatever, but it was a great scene between the two of them.
It was a wonderful scene. First of all, at this point, Quarles going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hang with him.
Yeah.
Because we've gotten to see all the different.
Yeah, and he's going over the edge.
Yeah, that's why I want to hang with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's scrambling just as much as Raylan is right now.
Yeah.
And again, they've really been able to parallel these two characters through this whole thing. And again, remember when they started the season, I'm like going, oh yeah, it's Boyd in here.
No.
And
Right.
they've blown that out of the water.
Yes, absolutely.
They've thrown all the people you didn't anticipate right in the center of it.
Yeah.
But knowing that he is a psychopath, knowing that he will
and now he's
break.
taking drugs
Yes.
on Oxy.
It really is a time
Right.
out. Speaking
So-
of bouncing Betties,
Yeah.
I would just hang with him.
Shoe fly with a name like that, it's got to be delicious.
That's a really good impression of him.
Thank you very much.
Creeps me out a little bit.
Sorry about that. You'd rather I just do impressions of Raylan.
Yes, I would. I would prefer anybody do that.
I do a pretty good Arlo.
Yeah. Okay, so there's that scene,
Anyway.
and then the next time we're back there, he's talking to the campaign manager, and not. It's like, it's,
Harvey.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get that. I didn't get the whole cards and booze and face cards and.
But this I think really goes to the carpetbagger thing. He's from Detroit. You pay off your whomever, and then your politician, and that's it. But it's different. We do things different here in Harvey County. Yeah, you know, I think with Napier, what's his name? Harvey. Harvey's trying to tell him is. Here's how it works. We get the deal. When we get the vote, we give them a card. They get whatever it is. The card is the thing that says, okay, you did right by us. Here's the thing that's going to allow you to get your payoff,
your payment,
all that other stuff. So that's the shenanigans of how they do it. Is my guess.
Okay,
that's the procedural thing.
Because I knew the election wasn't happening today, but it made it sound like the next thing that we saw, the next scene where we saw Harvey and all those people was at the debate.
Yeah.
And so it just sort of confused me as about who was, what he was talking about exactly and how that. I don't know.
So that's all it was. So he's the campaign manager for Shelby. No, sorry, excuse me, Napier. And he was just going to run. He was going to make sure that at the VFW meeting,
town hall
debate.
Yeah,
no,
debate.
Not a town hall.
Not a town hall. Not a town hall.
Yeah, exactly. He was going to make sure that Napier would come across looking good, and that Shelby wouldn't. So at whatever time he needed to, he'd bang the gavel and just gavel him out. So that's what he was setting up. I think they had to do that, so that makes the next scene when we're at the VFW all that more interesting because Boyd, does his preacher bit and even speaks to Harvey.
Yes.
And reminds him where
he came
from.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see Harvey is thinking about that, and that's why he doesn't gavel it out because
because he's got his own stuff to protect.
Exactly, which I think goes back to the whole thing about Quarles not understanding this. No, I just buy the election. That's it, right? No, we do things different here.
Right there, where he says that, and basically what he's trying to tell Quarles is everybody knows it's rigged, but we don't want to insult them into making it blatant.
Exactly, they can see
we have to do this dance
because we're all about propriety here in the holler.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
It's true though.
So they've been they know rigged elections and they've seen them, and so we can't got to be careful about how we do this, and I think that's what that was all about.
Mm-hmm.
So because when we get to that debate, that was a great debate.
Well,
not much of a debate, but it was great.
But
again, the thing I loved about that scene where Harvey is trying to explain to Quarles is Quarles' look as he's looking out the window, and he's just going, "What the fuck?"
Yes, this is what I pay you for.
Why am I here?
He's so a big picture guy. He doesn't care about the details.
I'm watching it, and I can just picture him thinking, "I was in Detroit. I had an awesome place. I had everything, and now I'm in this barbecue shack." With Harvey.
Hillbilly shack.
Hillbilly shack and shoe fly pie.
Yeah. Exactly. And this guy's talking to me about cards and just, God.
It's like, he's the executive dealing with the cashier at Walmart or whatever.
Exactly.
And all just done with.
But there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Harvey's going to explain the reason. Harvey, by the way, did look like a young Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, okay. Wasn't paying attention to that, but sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You're a co-star, Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd, my co-star. Played my father.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
6 degrees.
Dad. So now this getting because we talked about it, the VFW debate. I thought Napier was doing pretty good.
Sure.
Shelby's, kind of quietly holding his own, but not, but clearly Napier's going to win this thing until Boyd shows up.
Right.
And interesting that Boyd, the whole thing that Boyd wanted to have happen was Raylan get to Tanner because I'm in prison wrongly accused, and so they figure out the whole Tanner thing, and so Boyd gets out of prison just in time.
Yes.
And takes over, basically. He's not even running for sheriff, and he does the best debate performance that I've ever seen. Whole lot of platitudes.
There was a couple of things about that in the interview with
Graham Yost.
One of them was everyone was missing from season 2 Boyd.
And his
Boyd's
preaching.
preacherness, yeah,
Yes.
loved his preacher
And
ability.
being able to. And the other thing is that was really an homage to a Hitchcock film, 39 Steps.
Oh, right.
Where the character kind of gets thrown into a speech, and
Yeah.
he's just, he
Spouting.
says a bunch of platitudes and
Yeah.
gets the crowd behind him. And a couple of the writers were thinking, "Oh yeah, that's a great
That's
movie."
great.
So
Fun to write.
Yeah.
but-
Well, yeah, because basically all Boyd was talking about was how much we all hate the coal mines.
Exactly, and the coal mines and the company man
And the
all-
company man.
He's just drawing distinctions, which is what they always do. It's frame it the right way. Draw distinctions. Here's my guy who's a hard worker, working man.
He's one of
You're
you.
a
He's one of
company
you
man.
people.
He's
Mhm.
feeding
He's a
from
guy
the
you can have a
public
beer
trough.
with.
Pay, our taxes paying for it. So and of course everybody's gonna
Taking
Sure, who's
money
not
off
gonna
our
want that?
back.
gonna frame it like that. Sure, and he did it with such bravado, and that everybody bought into it. Gee, haven't we seen that? I mean, that's
There was following that when they're in the bar.
yeah, celebrating
Boyd had-
afterwards.
Celebrating. Boyd had another great line. And everybody knows that
Oh, yeah.
elections aren't.
Yeah, elections
over
aren't
until
done.
All the dead have voted.
Elections in Harlan County, 8 over till the dead have voted.
That's right. Well, it's not just Harlan; they do it in Chicago.
I
and
know.
there's
It's
a
like
lot of
there's a
places.
similarity there.
Pretty
Yeah.
sad. We're just joking about it too. Isn't it so sad that it happens everywhere? We're just joking about it.
Yeah.
Well, not here.
No. Yeah.
For having the really pro woman episode,
Yeah.
we're not really talking much about.
Well,
the
let's get
women
into it right now.
Are we gonna go?
Yeah.
Let's do it right now. So it starts out with 3 hopped up, long-haired,
Hopped up bitches.
Uh,
They were.
hopped up bitches.
They were.
Yeah.
They were bitches.
Yeah.
I don't,
Sporting long
I don't
hair.
normally talk like that, but
That's
it's
right.
when Justified's on. I do.
Sporting long hair and
And,
wielding
and
guns.
Elvis glasses.
Elvis glasses, yeah,
Mhm.
and they go in because they're good. Delroy's got them doing his, Delroy's just horrible, but great character because he's just such a schmuck.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Getting women
So
do
right,
everything.
So he's such a manipulator.
Yeah.
He's an amazing manipulator,
and they're going along with
and
it.
we've seen it several times with Ellen
Yeah.
May so far.
Right.
And they come out of the bank. The
Yeah.
one girl, Crystal,
Gets
poor
shot. Poor
Crystal, is
Crystal.
shot, and
He's just pissed because she got shot.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about
It's
her.
just- no.
It just ruins his plans.
Yeah.
right,
It's just.
you don't want to lose your stuff because you gotta pull it together because Crystal was a soldier. That's the last thing
She
she
watches-
would want.
She watches the show.
we got to do this. We got to do this for Crystal.
Dude,
We
yeah,
have to do
it's
it for Crystal.
He's like, and by the end of that, you really do want him shot, don't you?
Oh my
you just
God.
want-
Oh,
just-
yeah.
you want him dead because he's such
Yeah.
a schmuck.
At
But even
least-
Ellen,
at
you
least
got to
shot.
see a little bit of that Ellen May because she's kind of very, very small rebellion in her. So no, she would have preferred not having her
Guts out on the bottom of
the-
this
So we can
van,
see
yeah.
that, yeah. But anyway, so
they wanted to do Chicks Robin Banks in season 1, I
Oh,
think,
oh, really?
on that interview, and it's kind of like we had a lot of the bank stuff, so we just pushed it off. But they've been kind of the
they made
writers-
it to a check cashing place.
Yeah, and they said basically we got the idea from Elmer Leonard, his book, Raylan.
One of his books. Oh,
Yeah,
really nice.
It was in there, and they went, okay, time to bring that up, and here's a perfect opportunity. And
Great.
Well, and it's good because it still brings. We've been doing a lot of the machinations
Right.
between Quarles and Win Duffy and Raylan and all this kind of stuff going, and getting back to sort of that old West feel
Right.
with a good old fashioned robbery.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
that-
really
Yeah, that's modernized by being hopped up bitches.
hopped up bitches with
Yeah,
shotguns
yeah.
and
Hopped up
wigs.
bitches with
because
shotguns.
anytime you're gonna rob a bank,
Here's the part that I thought was not only is Delroy horrible by manipulating the girls when he's driving out way in the van saying to shut up and she'll soldier on and all that kind of nonsense. Then when they're having to take care of the body, he makes them carry
he
him.
does.
Oh my god.
The 2 girls have to carry the dead body.
And by the way, when they're referencing slurry, yeah, that's like acids and
yeah,
stuff. That
horrible
are,
stuff. That's
it's
the
an-
runoff
the
from
runoff.
from the
right.
mine.
And if that were not a very shallow pond, which he's dropped in, but an actual mining pond,
Yeah.
it dissolves metal. I mean, this stuff is nasty.
Well, and that's one of the things they've talked about several times in over the course of the series is, when we're talking about what is the name
Black
of it?
Pike.
Black Pike Company, and how they've, there was a conversation with Mags about taking off the top of the mountain and all the slurry coming down, and how it just creates wreaks havoc for everyone.
It reminds us again what people in Appalachia have to deal with.
Yeah.
In lots of
Really
places
nasty.
to get rid of a body.
Right. Yeah, so they get rid of the body, rolls down the hill. And yeah, do you guys want? You guys were talking about the pond. Did you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
Well, no, it was the actual pond they
had to
dug.
make, right?
There
Yeah.
wasn't a pond.
Yeah, so they made.
That's right. Yeah, you go.
There wasn't a
you
pond,
go.
so they had to build it, and the B unit went and shot it a different day from the day that they rolled the body
So
down.
they rolled the stunt body
so
down.
they rolled
the
the
hill.
body stunt
Before
body
it
down
hits
the
the
hill.
water.
They build the pond, and the actual pond is about 8 feet in diameter and about 2.5 feet deep. So
And it's just lit, so you can only see the front lip.
so
of
the
it.
front little edge of it. So then when the stunt woman rolls off the hill and falls into the pond, she was buoyant. She was floating. So she was having to, through her body bag, I'm assuming, grab the bottom so that it would look like her body sank.
Yeah.
And they apparently the B unit director just thought it was hysterical. The whole thing was
yeah,
hysterical.
but it looks great. It works perfectly.
It was.
You can't tell.
He referenced an Ed Wood type shot.
Ed
where
Wood,
it's just
yeah.
like,
Really-
this is the cheapest, but it looked great.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But that's
it's like how we shoot the Tamara twins.
exactly. It's classic because they got okay. We don't want to spend any money to do this, and you didn't need to. They just did it really smartly, lit it really well, and just that quick little shot, 2-second shot. No one knew.
The magic of television.
I certainly didn't. I bought it.
No.
Completely.
Yeah, we didn't tell you that until after you saw it.
No.
You went back to watch.
Yeah.
So it's funny when you know those little things.
Great little inside scoop on that.
Yeah.
So okay, and then of course Delroy wants to clean up his loose ends, so he decides he has to kill the other girl, shoots one, and LMA, smart
Thank
girl,
goodness.
runs quickly.
Yep.
And doesn't get shot, and that's where so Delroy misses her, and she's on the lam now. And where does she go?
Runs
To
to
the
Ava.
other woman, because Ava's helped her in the past.
That's right.
So she's the only one that she thinks she can trust. And of course, in the beginning, I wasn't sure what was Ava gonna do, because she's coming to their doorstep now. So that's bringing this nonsense right into Boyd's lap and
Right.
her lap.
Right.
But she brings her in because she is a soft touch, and she sees how frightened Ellen May is and stuff like that. And it looks like she's gonna protect her.
Well, she was so motherly to
Yeah.
Ellen May. You lie down here on the couch, you try and get some
You
sleep.
hear some music on, it always helps me.
right.
That kind of
When they
stuff.
hear a
You know-
commotion, she says, "You're safe. Don't worry."
Right.
You know who she was reminded me of was Mags.
Oh, really?
Of having that,
That motherly
one,
instinct.
one thing of,
Yeah.
she did blow her husband away, and then
Right.
here's the other thing of just putting, and then
And let's not face it,
very quickly,
Ava
it's like-
knows what Ellen May is going through.
Right.
Yeah.
Because being abused herself, she knows what it's like to be
Right.
frightened like that and have nowhere else to turn, all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
She didn't really have any other help. This was why she ended up doing what she did.
Yeah. What did she do?
She killed her husband.
Right. No, I meant actually what was she about to do in the next scene. So,
Oh.
so in the next scene, we see Ava.
Well, Johnny.
But this was, it wasn't until she has a conversation with Johnny where has to rethink her strategy.
Right. Yeah, because
or her decision.
I think
there
her
was no
strategy
strategy.
I think the strategy was take in the stray and try to find some way to help her.
Right.
And she wanted to pawn her off on Johnny. Also, I think in some weird way to have Johnny to have some companionship.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that's what that was about. And then he says, "Well,
Johnny speaks a little too much.
yeah." He starts hitting on her. I mean,
Yeah.
didn't you
Well,
okay.
because Boyd's out of the picture.
Yeah.
He's back in jail. We don't know for how long.
Yeah.
Well,
And we gotta-
actually,
Turns out not
We
very
gotta
long at
help
all.
each other. I
out not-
always prefer blondes.
for blondes.
It's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, and
That's
then,
got to come back to bite him if he ever finds that
well,
out.
yeah.
'Cause-
There was that
yeah.
moment when they were celebrating
Right.
the possible victory.
And
where
she says,
I need
"Can I talk to you?"
Yeah, and
I
Johnny
didn't
is
see
nervous.
I didn't see that look. Oh, really? I missed
Oh yeah,
that. I must have been writing.
They
this.
stayed on him, and you could tell he's thinking,
Uh-oh.
what?
Really?
What? Yeah.
I didn't see that look.
So
Awesome.
it was
Nice.
very, very cool to see. But anyway,
That's great.
so she has that conversation with Johnny, and it was
And now-
an
now
interesting
strategy has to
conversation
change.
because it took her from the motherly into
Yeah.
I can be just as bad as you,
Right.
Right.
And that's really what this
Well,
episode was about: is
yeah.
how bad can these women
But
be?
also, it reminded me a bigger step across the line, because it was almost like a devil, calling her out, not calling her out, but what's the word? Underestimating her right before she gave him a frying pan to the face. It was the same kind of thing. I was, oh, really? So you don't think I'm up to this?
Right.
Okay, let me show you. So that's what I was, because she crossed that line with Devil. Okay, she took a frying pan to his face. Now here's where I'm going to go with Johnny. Oh, really? I'll show you.
Right.
And I think that part she didn't plan on. I think she said, okay, I'll show you. She called Delroy and set that up. And then when Delroy's on his way over, I think that's when I got to figure something out here, because now I'm not going to turn this gal over. I mean, I couldn't see her turning Ellen May
No, there's no
over
way
to
she was
Delroy
gonna do that.
after what she'd seen what Delroy did to her, and after having the same thing happen to her. But that's when I thought that's probably where she formulated that plan.
The actress who plays Ava was
Noah Carter.
Was she in, or was it the director that was in the interview?
Both of them.
Both of them were in the interview.
They both were in the interview. Yeah.
Because in the interview, she was saying that she didn't think she had a plan until after Delroy arrived.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that
No
it was,
kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was while he was in the bar that she decided,
This is what I'm going to do.
this is what I'm going to do.
Oh, wow.
That was their
That's
take on
that was
it.
her take on it. All right.
Now,
whatever.
I like the other take where, I'm just going to get him and clear him out to protect her, because it just makes her more motherly. But, it does show that she's got this mean, I can be a bad person as well.
Well, maybe she just decided when she saw him, she said, "There's no way I can get him back. I can't give her back to him."
Right. She might have hit a point of no return.
Yeah, she might have.
Ellen May was just like this horrible little puppy.
Yeah.
That you knew was gonna just get slaughtered.
Yeah,
and paid.
Yeah.
It was,
But a great way of showing, putting the tying up her wrists, giving her something to drink. Let's go. Shut up. If you have to say shut up one more time, I'll shoot you myself, and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then she waits for the money to get down, and finally waits for Delroy to drop stop aiming the gun, and boom.
And he
I was not ready.
flew across the bar.
Nice little stunt work.
Nice.
So I was not prepared for that one.
I was not either.
I was not prepared for that one. I was not prepared for any of them. When Delroy shoots the girl out after the lake, I was not prepared for that.
No.
When Lemuel gets shot, I was not ready.
This was one of those episodes where, thank God for DVRs, first of all, and second of all, don't look away, which is why I watch these shows twice, so that you can watch it without, hesitation. And then second time we take notes.
And then the look on Ava's face, she shoots Delroy, and she just turns
Johnny.
Ellen.
Oh, Ellen May.
Ellen takes off the things. Help me clean this up.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And boy, girls can clean, can't we?
Yeah, I guess so. And she
I know,
says,
later
boys,
on.
I haven't got stains that have been for 10 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They cleaned up
Spick
the bar
and span,
so
you
good.
should be very happy
That's
with
right.
my work today, honey.
Was
That's
that
what she was saying.
fascinating scene when she's talking
That was-
to
that
it's
was
almost
an
like they were
awesome
talking about
scene.
their day at the end of the day. What'd you do,
Exactly
honey?
what that
How was your day?
about is just
Well, and the little sort of smirk he had on his face when he
Who? Oh, Boyd.
Boyd.
Yeah.
Sorry, Boyd.
Yeah.
The little smirk. He's like,
Wow.
Okay.
You did all. I like when he says
right out
here. Where everybody's celebrating.
standing. All those lawmen
see-
around.
Exactly. That's the guy who wants to be sheriff.
Sheriff.
Yeah.
You could see he was proud.
And she's like, and she's so happy that we cleaned it all. We even got stains out there
We
for
fixed
10
the mess.
years. It's like
over.
she's so happy.
It's good.
I got that was great stuff.
Wow.
But she's got bigger plans now because
Right.
Yeah.
Boyd doesn't get hookers.
No horse policy.
But
No
Ava
horse
will.
The no horse policy.
is still intact.
It is.
That's right.
But it seems now, as weird as that is, I thought it was a perfect thing because you can see her wanting to protect all these gals. Now she's not going to protect them from prostitution so much, but she'll protect them from people
Assholes
beating
like
them up
Delroy.
and all that kind of stuff.
They're gonna have a better situation.
Yeah.
with Ava, I hope.
Yeah. So, but
I
you can
hope.
see, I can see that being an extension of her wanting to help these gals.
In her way.
Yeah, in her way, exactly. In the Harlan County way.
Whatever
That
way
special
that is.
Harlan County manner.
Exactly.
We're running really
We're
long,
running
John.
out. Okay,
We are.
let's go. We got to go to our break then. So,
Okay.
Jerica, if you would please take us to our break. Oh,
Maybe
we go.
now. How about now?
Here we go.
Are we rolling?
How about now?
I'm sorry, I should have given her a heads up. So, we'll keep going until we get to that. So when we come back, we'll handle predictions. We don't have a special segment, do we?
No, we don't.
All right.
We don't have
No
time for one
special-
anay.
Yeah. No special
We don't.
Are we going to
All right,
skip commercial?
Jerica?
Are we going to go commercial?
There we
AfterBuzz
are.
TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds. like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV.
Go to predictions.
What do you want to buzz about?
Predictions?
Yeah, let's do predictions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go straight into predictions. Because I talked too long.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Yeah, my fault for going long because I was the one chatty today.
You were chatty.
Sorry about that. So let's get into predictions. Whose thoughts? Anybody? I've already given one, but it won't be happening in next week or anytime soon. I think that they're setting up something between.
We're on episode 9, and we're going to 13.
13, correct.
13.
So we're kind of really starting to peak here pretty soon, which is
Right.
I'm excited about.
You know, the previews obviously showed Quarles and Raylan having a nice little moment together.
Yeah. I just want to really quickly, something that we'll get to talk about later, but you were mentioning it when we just saw the preview, Steve, that the lighting and the stylized shot of that preview was so interesting. And I'm wondering if, it was lots of saturated yellows.
Oh, really?
And these shots from below. And I mean, it was fascinating. And I don't know if all that is a preview or if that's a sense of what next episode's going to be like, but it'll be really interesting to see. So I'm really looking forward to potentially some. We're getting into the Adam Arkin episodes pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty soon.
I think it's 11 and okay, so we got a couple more episodes for that.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the 9th. Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of exciting to see. So I'm just predicting some interesting production values. Really, is all I want to say. That's all I want to talk about. I'm looking forward to that.
You know what? I'm still trying to predict who's left to die.
Oh wow, that's a good question.
Arlo.
Oh yeah, Arlo.
Right, we haven't seen Arlo for a while.
And Winona.
Yeah.
I think Winona's gonna buy.
And obviously the caveat
yeah.
is the ones who have been here for a while. Now whether or not
Quarles is gonna go by.
Quarles is gonna go, but his number 2 man.
Wynn Duffy?
Wynn Duffy.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
He's the kind of guy that
he's a survivor.
Exactly.
He's always gonna be a thorn in Raylan's
He's that little
side.
like cockroachy guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who won't die.
So I think we may see the end of Arlo, and I think Winona. And this is just, I've not read anything, I've not heard anything. I'm just saying.
I've been saying it for weeks. I agree with that.
Saying it for weeks. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. We got anything else?
My other prediction is someone's first name is going to be weird.
Hey, I want to let our viewers know that we are watching the chat boards live during our shows, and we're going to try and do that every week. Sometimes the technology evades us. Or eludes us rather. So, if you do have questions or comments, write them in on the chat room, and we can get them. We'll see them.
And when you do our downloads and stuff like that, remember to comment on us, give us a thumbs up, give us some sort of comment. It helps us out a lot. We don't charge for any of this, and we're happy to do so. We want to keep bringing good content and everything, but it does help us if you'll give us a comment.
The reason why it's important is because the more interaction we have with fans, the more we can go up to people who make these shows and say, we want to do something special for the fans. We want everyone to meet. And that's
we can
really
do finale shows
for finale shows and stuff like that, and you can come in and ask questions and get photos and all kinds of really cool stuff. So that's always been the goal here for us, to try to get that to happen. So the more interaction we get from everybody on the outside, the more that can be a possibility.
Okay.
And the better it is for everybody.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Jarek, if you would do our outro music, we'll say our goodbyes.
Sure.
Where can they find you?
My website is tamaracentral.com. Also, follow me on Twitter at Tamara Berg.
Steve, you want to give him?
Follow Tamara at Tamara Berg. Yeah.
I triple that. Follow Tamara Berg.
Just, or I'll tell you what she drives. You can just follow her.
Okay, I know where she lives.
You follow her all the time.
You can stalk her.
What are you doing now? What are you doing now?
Follow me.
All right, on behalf of Jerica, Steve Bottomley, Tamara Berg, I'm your host, John Comerford, saying thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
See you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.